Here's one, though, for you, Dave. If you're back-to-back road games and you're off a win and you're a favorite, like Carolina is now, you're actually 24-14 the last 2 years. So back-to-backs have been a negative, but if you're back-to-back off a win and you're the favorite, the better team, you've cashed 62%.
It's time to head downtown to the beautiful Golden Nugget. Aaron Kessler's with us right now. AK, what's going on?
Not too much, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I want to. We were just talking about this. I don't know if you caught. I think you were already on hold when I started ranting about this. I'll call it misinformation that's out there as to where the sharp money is, and you should, fade the public, bet the sharps, and it's just bull. I mean, it's first of all, it's a myth, and secondly, the information just isn't accurate. Maybe you can explain that as an odds maker, where bettors are getting caught up in this stuff of where the bet percentages are, and they don't really know where the bet percentages are, and following the sharp money. And what's happening in many cases is they're creating value on the other side because the other side wasn't the square side to begin with.
Well, I think that you got to step back and look at the whole situation. First off, if you're going to be on the sharp side of the game, you want to be on the sharp side at the sharp number.
Right.
These guys are making their bets, but they're not betting the side; they're betting the number. So if you don't have the same number they're getting, it doesn't matter if you're on the sharp side or not. That being said, people think that just because someone puts a big bet down, they're sharp, or, there's a lot of reasons people think someone is sharp that might not necessarily be true.
Well, that's true. And you look at tonight's college basketball as an example. You've seen some volatile movement on the Ivy League, but you can explain this. It's not like this is Duke and Virginia getting millions of dollars, or, well, maybe that's an inflated figure, but getting heavy volume. Not a lot of bettors in the Ivy League, so one good-sized bet can actually move the number, and it might not be a sharp bet.
Right. I mean, you never know what's moving what. You can't tell just from looking at the screen. If you know who's making the bet, then you have a little bit of an idea. But that's not something your average bettor has access to, obviously.
All right. Let's talk a little local stuff. Rebels off a good win at Boise State. It's kind of a finger in the dike type of win. If mythical odds, we can't bet on this stuff here in Nevada, but mythical odds, would you make Marvin Menzies the favorite of the dog to be coaching this team next year?
I think looking at where we're standing right now, he's probably going to be back next year. Rebels are above 500 in the conference, and he's doing pretty much all you can do at this point. They're not going to be where Reno's at right now overnight. I think the administration likes him, and I think he's going to get at least another season, barring, one of these rumors about Pitino coming over here being true.
I would say that's the ace in the hole. I mean, if there's interest in Pitino and it's mutual, sorry, Marvin, goodbye. But we don't know that that's the case. So, I think I agree with you on that.
Aaron, the one game everyone talking about tomorrow, Duke and Virginia, the first game down to the wire, Virginia gets the last basket to cover. Of course, Duke was without their point guard. Does Virginia have to win this to win the ACC? Or just for confidence, do you think they need to win this at home to move forward and know they took care of the second-best team or best team in the country at home?
No, I don't think they need to win it, but it would certainly help. But, this is a team that's probably going to be a one seed no matter what when Selection Sunday rolls around. They're sitting 20-1. If they lose, they'll be 20-2 with both losses to Duke. No shame there. This is a really good team, and it's going to be hard to keep them off the one line.
I would agree with that. The only question I'd have is from a mental standpoint, if they were to get swept again by Duke, and they still, we know what happened in the tournament last year, first ever one seed to go down, it was 16. You just wonder about the ego of this team, whether they'll truly be believing in themselves when it comes to those big games late in the season. So I think
very
it's
good chance they'll get another shot at him in the ACC tournament.
But I think this is a really big game, bigger game for Virginia than it is for Duke. Would you agree?
I think that's probably true, but it is on the road. It's in Charlottesville, and I think that matters. But I don't think it's a must-win for either team, really. It would be a bigger game for Duke, I think. Getting the third loss and losing to three different opponents, that's not going to help them.
Well, Kentucky isn't losing to anybody right now, so let's start looking at this team. They've got 8 straight SEC wins, 9 wins in a row overall because they also won the matchup against Kansas in that SEC Big 12 deal. The next 3 at Mississippi State tomorrow, then home against LSU and Tennessee. So if they happen to win these 3, are we looking at Kentucky then being on that number 1 line?
They're certainly heading that direction. It's hard to say whenever a team's definitely going to be somewhere. But, Kentucky's playing great ball right now. My question is, I have a little bit of worry about the strength of the SEC in general. So, you've got Virginia and Duke pretty much locking up those top spots. Gonzaga locking one up. Is Tennessee going to get one if they can hold out this run? Yeah. So I think you got to jump somebody. And Kentucky doesn't beat Tennessee. I don't see them getting out there.
Yeah, I was just going to say the exact same thing, Aaron. The SEC much better than it's been in the past, and you have a lot of teams taking that next level and making them. But, I think the only way Kentucky overrides Tennessee is by sweeping them. They have them at home February 16th, and then they go on the road March 2nd, which will be a huge game to go there. So, and let's move to another team now that's been on the opposite side, not being hot. Dave and I were on the show, and Michigan State was off a loss, and people were talking about, well, there's no way they're going to lose 2 in a row. Then we were on the show again, and they're playing Illinois, and the best bet or the number one bet on the line, the screen that I was looking at, was Michigan State money line against Illinois, and now we have 3 straight losses. What's happened to Michigan State, and will people be lining up to say there's no way in the world they can lose 4 in a row tomorrow?
Well, losing Langford's a big loss, obviously. Yep. That's really going to kick your team in the teeth. That's a big talent to drop, but Michigan State's the brand name. People love to bet on them, and I don't think we're going to have a whole bunch of people lining up to bet against them. It's still Michigan State at the end of the day.
Oh, I think you'll get a lot of Michigan State action off 3 straight losses. And you know what? I don't put a whole lot of stock into what's happening because it's February, and we know Izzo coaches his best basketball when March arrives.
Yeah, no doubt. That's been true for the past God knows how many years.
Yep, he's done this before. So let's take a look at the Bucks because they have they look like the best team in the East anyway, and now they get a really good player at the deadline in Mirotic, who's wherever he goes, the guy wins. He's just a real nice ad for this Milwaukee team. Are they now the clear-cut best team in the East, or are you still saying it's the Raptors?
I'm not sure they're the clear-cut best team in the East. They've got the best record. They've got a lot of talent. It's hard not to like them at this point. But I'm not sure that they're, head and shoulders above, say, the Raptors or even the Sixers.
Yeah, the Sixers probably just got better. I got to tell you.
Top 5, I still think the Sixers have more talent with Tobias now.
I love them getting Tobias, and I love them getting rid of Markelle Fultz, who just wasn't working out. And sometimes when you get that number 1 overall pick, who's kind of a negative on the team, I think it can be a distraction of sorts. So getting him out of there probably a good thing for Philly, don't you think?
Yeah, I certainly don't think it's going to hurt him. I was never a Fultz guy, even going all the way back to when he was at Washington. So I'm not sure that losing him is going to hurt him that much.
No, I think I'm not saying he's going to be a colossal bust who can't play in the NBA, but he's never going to be worthy of the number 1 overall pick. And you know what? You go right back to the thing that people criticized from the very first on him was this weird delivery he's got on a shot. It's just completely unorthodox, and it's not very good, to be quite honest with you. And I don't see the improvement taking place.
No, it's going to be hard to find a way for Fultz to turn it around. I didn't really understand what they saw in him. The guy was never a great shooter. And when you get a little guy who's not a great shooter, that's a big red flag to me.
Especially as the number 1 pick, I completely agree that, I didn't understand what people were enamored with him anyway.
Plus he was injury
You're
prone
playing
on
on a
top
bad team, and all you did is you scored the most points on a very bad team.
Yeah, I just never quite got the hype on him, and I think they were lucky to get a pretty good return for him.
Oh, I agree. And again, we both like Tobias a lot. This guy keeps on getting traded, but wherever he goes, he seems to improve the team. He's just an underrated guy at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely a talent. Maybe there is something in this Tennessee program. Who knows?
Hey, it could be. All right, let's find out what's happening this weekend at the Golden Nugget. Always fun to spend the weekend at the Nugget.
Well, we got Los Lobos down here for Friday, for 52 Fridays. Other than that, sign up for our app. Come down, see us in the sportsbook. We got a great card of college hoops tomorrow. We got the Alliance of American Football lines coming out.
Look, obviously it's going to be sight unseen, but it's football, and the betting lines are up. What are you anticipating? Is it going to be just guys who are really into following the league early, or will there be some casual betting?
Oh, it'll definitely be casual betting. You get football, you put it on TV, it doesn't matter what level it is. American lines of football, NFL, college, high school. You put football on TV, they'll bet it.
And you know what? They'll probably find out which team Hackenberg's playing on, and they'll bet against them because that's what people do with Hackenberg.
I thought you said Berkovecki was the guy you're going to bet against.
No, Berkovecki actually showed me something at when he was in college, coming off the bench as what had been a career backup. Hackenberg is the guy who's never lived up to the hype, and Not exactly well regarded among the sports betting fraternity, is he?
No. He's one of those guys who kind of Andy Katzenmoyer syndrome with him. He started out as a college freshman and looked great and just got worse every year from there.
I will say, Aaron, you talked about your 52 Friday concerts, and Brian Marco and I will be down next Friday for Blue Oyster Cult. So, a little BOC. I believe that's next Friday, right?
I know it's definitely coming up soon. I do think you're correct. Yeah, that is next Friday, the 15th.
Well, see, there's more reason to go down to the Golden Nugget. Not only will you see a great concert, you'll see Ralph Michaels
Ask
as well.
Marco to buy you a beer, right?
Yeah, there you go. All right. Good stuff, Aaron. Appreciate it. Good conversation.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Aaron Kessler does a solid job down at the Golden Nugget, and he covers all the sports, and that was a good conversation. Enjoyed that very much. We will enjoy our next conversation as well. Kelly Stewart will join us right around the bend.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
Hey, Vegas, Clay Baker here with you, and now it's time to get back to clean for 2019. That's right, Zero Res is back at it, and they want you to start the new year in an extraordinarily clean, fresh, and healthy home. And it starts now. They will pre-treat, clean, sanitize 3 rooms of carpet for just $89. $89! This is their lowest price ever. And they'll clean 100 square feet of tile for free. That's normally $125 alone, but it's free. All you got to do is call Zero Res now. And as for the Clay Baker special, 702-840-3333, or go online, ZeroResLasVegas.com, 702-840-3333. Oh, I know how it is. You got the friends and family over at your house, dropping stuff, making spots all over the place. You can make the pet stains, the traffic lanes, all those spots disappear for one low price, $89. Call Zero Res now and ask for the Clay Baker ESPN special. Minimums apply.
Clean carpet, Zero Res it, ZEROREZ. Call 840-3333.
Become a part of history as the inaugural season of the Alliance of American Football kicks off this Saturday. Join us for the official viewing party at Tap Sports Bar inside the MGM Grand as the San Diego Fleet takes on the San Antonio Commanders. Watch the game on giant screens, enjoy food and drink specials, giveaways, and check out the family interactive fan zone with football toss, cornhole, foosball, and more. Best of all, admission is free. It's the official Alliance of American Football kickoff party this Saturday starting at 3 at Tap Sports Bar inside the MGM Grand.
I'm Derek England, and Vegas is my home. I work here, I play here, I even get my cars here. Findlay Kia is my dealership. I appreciate the fact that they're Vegas born and bred. Whether you're looking for a fun-to-drive compact like the Kia Soul, a mid-size SUV like the Kia Sorento, or a performance luxury car like the Kia Stinger, come see Findlay Kia. Getting it right is their driving ambition, and I know a little something about that.
Hey, it's Dave Koken with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So, car wrecks, very frequent in Las Vegas. Sometimes serious injuries, some not so serious, but in a lot of cases, there has to be some kind of physical therapy after the accident. Talk about that.
Yes, Dave. We as physical therapists can assess all injuries after a car accident. Sometimes we're the first person to see a patient, where we can identify the type of injuries the patient has. We will get them moving better, help reduce their pain, and we also work in conjunction with multiple physicians so these patients can be given appropriate medications to help with their pain, muscle spasms, and swelling. We can also provide any post-operative treatment in case these patients ever need surgery on their spine, their shoulders, and their knees.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
If you're lucky enough to live near the Napoli's Pizzeria on Warm Springs Road or the location on West Sahara, you're in for a treat. During game time, these 2 locations are offering a 1-topping 18-inch pizza and 10 wings for just $25.99. That's a huge 1-topping 18-inch pizza and 10 wings for $25.99. And don't forget, whenever there's a football game on, beer is just $2 at Napoli's. When you crave great pizza, Napoli's Pizzeria is the place to go. For the complete menu, just click LasVegasPizzeria.com.
You have to be up in 5 hours. 2 hours. 6 minutes, and you haven't slept a wink. ZzzQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. So tonight, try new ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil.
I got my brand new Shinola watch at MJ Christensen. Absolutely.